So you got a lot done today. You even bought a truck.
Hey, dude, I
pretty
fucking
cool.
went. Excuse me, we're not recording
You
yet,
can
right?
cuss. It's explicit. You can cuss, dude.
All right. I went in there to buy floor mats for my
No
my
shit.
truck. Yeah,
You got the old loop.
$90 floor mats, and I walk out with a new truck.
I'm only laughing because it's happened to me as well.
I'm like, you son of a bitch.
You go out
My
there.
wife was like, what the fuck?
My wife has done that also in the past. I bring home a new dually and she's like, what the fuck? She never says the F word, man. When she says the F word, it's bad.
That's great.
Oh, man.
That's a hell of an upsell job.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, they just happen to, so I love my truck. And even when I was giving the guy the keys, I'm like, dude, I really don't want to give you this truck. But I was right at that point. You know, when you hit 76,000, they can't retail it. Any major retailer can't hold it. They have to give it to, a secondary dealership or auction.
Right.
So I kind of knew that. And I was at 74,153. And I'm like, I'm looking at all the equity when he's talking, when I'm looking at this truck, and I'm like, oh, damn it, you got me.
It's got radar. It's got radar cruise control, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's got everything. Somebody must have custom ordered this truck.
Really?
And didn't have it very long and got rid of it because I've never found one like it. So
they were motivated. That's good.
Yeah. So, because I drive a regular cab long bed. So, which you usually only find those in the base,
Right.
The one I traded in had crank up the old crank windows.
I used to have an F-250 with a V10 crank up windows and a long bed in it. It was a great truck. It was the best truck I ever had, man.
Dude, that's a work truck. Exactly. You can throw coffee on the floor. It don't matter because it's plastic.
Rubber mats.
Yeah. You don't even need that. So,
I know. It's nice, isn't it?
This one is that truck, but with every bell and whistle. I've never seen anything like it.
And you're like,
as
okay.
I saw it, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I gotta have it.
Like, okay, I gotta wash the inside of the truck. You get the hose out.
Yeah.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of Guardian Down Cast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe and discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, The Gator, and my co-host, Hazel, is here as well. How you been, man? How's your week?
Been okay. Just pretty much usual, kind of trying to turn it around from last week.
Yeah.
How's how it is.
How's the weather been up there? I mean, I've been keeping track. Is it getting chilly again, or is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm asking sincerely, not trying to rub it in your face.
Yeah. I think I see a setup coming a mile away for those of us.
I'm not.
At home.
No, I'm not gonna talk about that at all. I can't believe it, man. We're a quarter of the way to 100, or I guess 150. Then we can call it quits, right?
We'll see. I'm okay with going to like 151.
Sounds good. Just to one up them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, my week's been good. It's been very hot down here. I think it was 85 one day. It was crazy hot. I've been sweating my ass off working this week, and finally today it's starting to dip down. In fact, it's 62 as we speak right now. It's really, really comfortable out. Went out to Disney. Went and saw a movie tonight. Went and saw Doolittle. And I'll talk about that later. But overall, really good night. Really good night. Just got back from it. I just want to say thank you guys for going an hour later than we usually do. I had a long drive home from Disney. It's about an hour drive. So, but I want to introduce our guest of the show tonight. We're all excited. I think this has been 2 months in the making trying to get this guy on here. He's so busy working. But we're all excited to introduce our guest of the show tonight. He's a gamer and community member and a master carpenter. Our friend Chris3711. Hey, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Excellent,
man. It's an honor to be here.
Oh, it's honor's all ours, dude. It's all
the
ours.
honor's all ours, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey, let's talk about what's going on in the show tonight. We're going to hear more about Chris's story, of course. We're going to test his Twitch reflexes with our new and improved fast fire session we call the speed run. Next, we're going to catch up on the last week in entertainment. You know, what we've been watching and gaming for the week. Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for the week. Then our main discussion tonight, we're going to dive into the new way Bungie is producing content. Finally, we'll answer our Twitter and Discord questions from our community, and we have some good ones tonight, and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify. Let's do this.
Zing.
All right, hey, let's get to know more about Chris3711 here. Hazel, you got a question for him?
Yeah. So, Chris, again, thank you for coming on to our humble little show.
Mhm.
It's been a pleasure. It's like this is the first time that I'm asking you this. It's really cool.
What people are okay? Just for our listeners at home, I did not record the first part of this interview, so thank you, Chris, for having.
You're only getting the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, you're going to get the Cliff Notes version, unfortunately. Yep. But we got off on a tangent, which probably was a good thing. But me and Chris can talk tools all day. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hazel.
Yeah, but no, if you guys want to know the Cliff Notes version of it, Gator thinks Hitachi is bullshit, and I think that's about it. That's and Chris3711 is a god at carpentry. So, Chris, tell us about yourself.
So I make sawdust. That's it.
There's your Cliff Notes.
And Hitachi will never be a sponsor of this, this show.
Yeah.
No, I was. We were talking about how I'm very lucky and blessed to have been trained and brought up through the ranks by some of the more talented carpenters in the South Shore of Massachusetts, which has led me to be able to have a great career in doing. Now I specialize in architectural millwork, which means the really expensive stuff. So we specialize in interior stuff like, obviously trimming out windows, doors, baseboard, crown moldings. We have custom cabinet shop. So we install and build custom built-ins, and you get to work for a lot of people that will always have more money than any of us will ever see.
I think you mentioned off camera that you actually did all of Aerosmith's houses.
Yeah, at one time or another, and that was probably in the earlier part of my career. Actually, when I was working for my first boss, he became good friends with kind of the guy who handles all that stuff for those guys. It's funny, like when you get into this kind of market, all these groups of people, you'll find your way into pockets, and the pockets are different is money people, and once one person hires somebody and you do good, then they all have to kind of have that person, and you stay in these niches, so I was lucky enough to work for all of them because they're all local to here in Boston. So,
and you've been doing it this will be your 30th year, right?
30 years. Yep.
Wow.
I get the scars to prove it. And
you still have all your fingers, all right?
Yeah. Well, 9 and 3/4. Well, 9 and 7/8.
There was this time.
Yeah, when I was first, I had probably been into it for a couple of years. And actually back then the equipment wasn't really what it was today. And we were working, and I was making staging poles. So we had a pile of 2x4s that had to get cut in half. Well, they all came from outside, so they're covered in ice. Ooh. And the old saws the guards didn't work, so we'd always rip the guards off.
Oh.
And there was no brakes.
Oh.
So I was sliding them down, chopping them, sliding them. Well, when I slid one, I hit ice, and my hand flew into the blade that was still spinning. My hand wasn't on the trigger, but it was enough to lob off a little piece off the end. And but luckily somebody grabbed it, put it in a Burger King cup full of ice.
Ladies and
Brought it with
gentlemen,
me to the hospital.
ladies and gentlemen, that's called on-the-job training.
Yeah. If you ever see anybody who loses a part of their body, tag it nice and ship it with them. So,
wow, that's crazy. Man.
It was just a little piece, and they sewed it back on. Not a big deal.
Nice.
So I got a funky looking fingernail.
Well, you have the scars to prove it. You said.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if that's all that happens to me throughout my career,
yeah,
I'm doing all right.
And
you better knock on wood or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's MDF, but
yeah, that's okay. Good enough. Sound like wood to me.
Yeah.
And you said you're working on a project now on an island. I know you can't talk about particulars because they're very important people, but I think that's the reason why you couldn't make the show the first time, is because you actually have to take a ferry out to this place.
Yeah. So the unfortunate part of working in the kind of for the people that were the elites, I guess you want to call them, however you want to call them, but working for that group, we have to travel a little bit more. So pretty much anywhere you can think that people go on vacation, that's where they want to live. So right now I'm on Block Island, which is off the coast of Rhode Island. Beautiful place. Absolutely nothing to do in the winter, which is good. You just kind of keep your nose down and do your work. Contract at least all different houses for us. So I actually have a really nice setup. I'm in the house I'm in. I have the whole basement to myself, my own bathroom, big screen TV, wet bar. It's pretty legit, actually.
And you're self-employed now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
But so I'm a subcontractor for the people for the main contractor,
like the architect. So,
yeah. These kinds of jobs, what they do is when they interview, so you have to have a portfolio, or you have to have multiple kind of references of established companies that they know. Once you get on that list, you actually get invited to these bigger jobs. So what they take talent from all over and kind of mash everyone together. And so the last big one like this, I think I was one of 19. This one is started off really small. It's just myself, one other carpenter, a foreman, project manager, and an engineer, a site engineer.
Okay.
But they just added another crew, so another 5 guys just showed up. So
I'm about to redo my kitchen, and we're tearing out walls and everything, and man, my house could need you. But I don't know if I don't know if I could afford you or the plane ticket to you to get here. So my dad is a GC, so he's helping.
I'm putting on weight these days, so I will work for food.
We have a lot of those down here.
Yeah. I couldn't work in Florida, man. I'd have to work at night. I don't know. It's too humid down there.
The way most of them do it is they'll work. They have the AC when they're working inside, and then they usually you do all their cutting, of course, out in the yard or in the garage, and they try not to be out there very long.
Right. But, I mean, most of these jobs I'm on now, we have climate control.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Even in the summer, because there's so much wood. You got to keep it, at a certain level. But I think this house I'm in right now, on the first floor, there's probably more wood on the walls than there is plaster.
Really?
So
a lot of natural wood, huh?
Yeah.
That's a good look.
It's mostly like nickel slot paneling.
Nice.
So all poplar and hard maple. Paint grade, though. And except for the library is going to be bright. And when I say bright, that just means it's going to be some type of species with a clear coat finish.
Right.
And the wet bar, I think, is going to be mahogany. So I'm guessing the library is going to be white oak, and the bar area is going to be mahogany. But everything else is paint grade, which is nice.
Yeah, mahogany. That's a cheap wood. He says facetiously.
There's no such thing as cheap wood anymore.
No, there isn't, is there?
No, it's our material cost. Like, everyone wants to complain about what we charge, but our material cost is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, absurd. So
Yeah. China will own it all eventually.
a lot of our stuff, believe it or not, comes from Canada.
Really? A lot of your hardwoods and stuff?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice to know.
Yeah. Canadians kind of corner the market on that.
It's nice to know they're good for
They got
something.
nothing else to do up there.
I was going to say, it's nice to know they're good for something.
Yeah. They grab their moose in the morning and drag some trees around or something.
Sorry, Flip and Lana. No disrespect. All right. I'm sorry. I will go off on a tangent all night if you want me to, but we got a ton of questions here to ask you.
Yeah.
Talk about your gaming history when you were a little tyke. Go all the way back. Where did you start? What age? Just set it up for us, how you moved up.
When I was probably, the first thing I remember is it must have been 5 or 6. ColecoVision came out, I think it was. Just the only thing it did was Pong on the screen. It was like a paddle with a wheel.
ColecoVision was kind of like Atari on steroids. It had a little bit better. I think it was.
So it wasn't Coleco. It was something else.
I remember Pong.
And television was a step up too.
Yeah. We still had to turn the dial by hand, but I forget what it was. But it played was Pong. That was it, I think. Okay. And then I remember getting this brings back a memory. So when I was small, we lived in this small house in this town called Rockland, and it was a tiny house. So the furnace was bolted to the floor, and it was just one big grate in the floor, like a steel grate. So I used to sit on that in my pajamas, and I would take my shirt and put it over my legs and have the paddle in my hands. So when the heat would turn on, it would just fill up my shirt. And I would be like, my mother would be like, well, it's getting cold in there. Walk outside, and I have got, I'm just hogging all the heat for the whole house. Sitting there playing Pong while they are sleeping. But then after that, I can remember Nintendo coming out, Super Mario Brothers, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Contra. Yeah, those were the days. But I mean, before that, we had Atari, Pitfall, Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff.
Now, did you go Xbox route or did you go PS route?
PS. I mean, over the years, we've owned everything, and then, but I think I had Wii and then PlayStation 3.
Mm-hmm.
But when my son started getting into gaming, he's always had every one. So GameCube, Wii, Xbox, but excuse me. Now he pretty much means Xbox.
Yeah.
He has PlayStation 4, but he never uses it. And that's where my gamer tag came from. Was I think we made for PlayStation 3, you had to make to play online. That was like the first one we did together online.
Mm-hmm.
And when we made our screen names, at the time I was 37 and he was 11. So, and I think that's when we we had the PlayStation 3s for a while, but we had never played online before. So, that's where that came from.
You remember that game Resistance 2?
I do not.
That was my very first online game. That was
nice. Mine was Killzone 3.
Killzone 2. I played online, but Resistance came out before Killzone 2. And I remember every night we had a group of 4 or 5 people, and we would just repeat the story again. There was nothing, it wasn't as fancy as Destiny is now, but we would meet every night and we'd all be BSing with it, and it was the coolest thing, dude. Just to sit there and BS with people every night when you got home from work,
I still are friends and talk to on the phone a couple of the guys from the Killzone 3 days.
Oh man,
Nice.
That was a really good group, and it was those couple core people that got me into Destiny. So
really?
yeah.
Why don't you go into that? What brought you into Destiny? What brought you to Destiny?
We were playing Killzone 3, then we transitioned into actually all the Battlefield games.
Oh yeah, great times.
When Killzone kind of died out, we really started ramping up in Battlefield.
The problem with Killzone is everyone would spawn camp. Remember those days?
Oh yeah.
And they didn't give a crap. Everyone complains about how Destiny doesn't change this or change that. Man, they communicate so much today. Back in the day when I played Killzone 2, we would just die 1,000 times in the spawn.
Yeah.
People would be aiming snipers at us. As soon as we appeared, boom, dead. And there was there's no one to bitch to. We just either decided not to play anymore. Or
I never minded because I play engineer, so I'd throw the turret up right at the entrance. So when they would come to, I just sit back, go ahead, come on,
or the
I don't care.
What was it called? The sabotager or something, where you could set up a spawn
the
beacon?
infiltrator.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, if you could make it out, if you could haul ass out the door and make it and get by the front line, you could set it up and create a spawn for your whole team. It was so cool.
Yeah. Well, the infiltrators could go invisible, so you could get out that way.
Exactly, and put that spawn beacon up.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody liked them. But
good times.
So then we get into Battlefield, and we actually did some semi amateur esports stuff, and so did that for a while. And then a couple of people had mentioned that Destiny was coming out. So I started playing it, and I played it for a while. Day one release and all that. I lost interest for a little bit, and then I think I came back. Probably was just before Taking King, maybe. And I don't think I've looked back since. Yeah, and I still play with some of couple of those guys still. So, and it's great.
Nice. Do you have any favorite memories or best times or something like that you remember from any of the Destinies?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard because Destiny's been a game that's been so, the ups and downs have been so extreme. It's hard to, I think, pinpoint anything really. Mm-hmm. I do remember Taking King coming out and all of us getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting in chat and being stuck in the queue and hitting the button over and over and over again. But it was 5 o'clock in the morning. We're all laughing, having a good time, and it didn't matter. And I think that is definitely one of the defining moments of, that made me think of, this is a game that will be with me forever, because of what it's creating, and not in the sense of content, but it's creating friendships and connections, and that's it. Destiny's always, to me, it's always been about the people, the community. It's never been about the game. I could take it or leave it, to be honest. I'm not obsessed with the gameplay. I enjoy it, but it's about the community for me, not really about the game. So,
yeah, I understand that completely. I mean, that's kind of my thought on it now. Is I'm not as knee deep into the game as I was before,
right?
And it's just one of those things where I'll get on every now and then and I'll see people on. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play with them or something like that. Or 9 times out of 10, it's my daughter who wants me to get on Destiny and make Guardian dance.
So that's great
awesome.
though.
That's awesome.
I mean, I love to play other games and I try like hell. I mean, I've got Xbox Game Pass. I do
too. I've yet to use it.
I love it. I love that. Anybody who's looking for like an all-around just platform, thing, you just pay your monthly thing and you get a whole bunch of stuff. I've tried them all. That one is, but to me, it's the best.
I see. I downloaded their latest game. Damn it! The new one that just came out that was included in Game Pass. Not. Man, my mind is mush tonight. I guess it's just because I just watched
Outsiders or Outer Lands.
No,
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Thank you, Hazel.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds. I downloaded it. It's in my console, but Destiny.
Yeah, I started that.
Destiny.
I started Wolfenstein 2.
I get that one too. I downloaded that one too. It's like, oh, that's a first-person shooter. Let's try that.
I really wanted it because I was when it got released, you were able to play Metro Exodus, which I love the Metro series. I played them all, but I refused to participate in the Epic Store, so I wouldn't buy it. Right. And then they released it, and I'm like, sweet. So I was able to play it through that. So
nice.
Yeah. So
okay. So you told us about your gamer tag, Chris3711.
Yeah.
That was heart melting. Did you have any other gamer tags previously?
Nope.
Like
that's it.
Chris 3610?
No.
Okay.
No. Just that's it. I mean, because I never played online prior to that. I always played. I mean, all my life. I never played online, so it was always just whatever, single player. Like I was huge into I did all the Resident Evils and all that stuff, but online wasn't like a big thing back.
Yeah, you're right. PS3 was the first. I can't remember if PS2 had online. I can't remember. I think PS3 was when it started up, and you had to have a gamer tag so people knew who you were.
Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but even at that, I mean, I had PS3 for a long time, and just never. Weren't required to go online at first. You didn't have to.
Good luck doing that today.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't. Everything's server side, right?
Yeah,
all your updates, everything. So I mean, you have to be connected to the network. But back then, you could turn on the PlayStation and still access the home screen and do everything you had to do without signing in. But I think now you're required to.
That's the one thing that worries me. That you might want to go back and play Killzone 2, pop it in your computer and it doesn't play anymore. Or Twisted Metal Online. Pop it on and it says, well, I mean, I heard about, I was listening to Generation X Gaming and they were talking about he put a game in, I think it was Sergeant McCluskey put a game in and he said it would just blank. Wouldn't even boot up. That's scary, man. You can't go back and play your old games.
PCs, I think have been doing a pretty good job of doing, keeping up with.
Think so?
Keeping the retro stuff still going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I see some of it on Steam. What were we were playing something recently?
That's my son.
I think I went back in Killzone 3 not too long ago.
Really, on PC? Nice.
No, that was actually on the
PS.
When they were giving away the free week for the PlayStation Now, or whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
It was maybe a year or two ago when they were really pushing that PS4 streaming kind of.
The cloud streaming.
I think it's Now or something. Yeah. That was one of the games, and that's the main reason why I'm like, do this free trial. So we went back in the servers were dead, but I mean there was still a few people in there. But I'm like, God, this is bringing back some memories. So it was pretty cool to do that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anybody who's wanting to go into carpentry or anything like that, or do if they want to do it themselves, like Gator?
It's very difficult right now. So it's weird in the trades, and I don't know if this is true everywhere or if it's just mass, but we can't get anybody young to work or even be interested in doing the trades. like the job I'm on now, even with this whole new crew coming in, I'm the youngest guy on the crew.
Wow.
Which has always kind of been that way because of the kind of at the tier I'm at. Because I started when I was so young, 16, but I quit school and went to school at night and went to work full time right away. So I jumped start, which I do not recommend that to anyone. And please forget anyone under the age of whatever. Don't listen to what I just said. But you can make some money, but
make a very good living.
Yes, and it's honest, and there's a lot to be proud of, I think.
That's the problem we have down here in Florida, Chris. Is I'm about to redo my kitchen, and I'm terrified. I want to sub it out. I'm gonna be the foreman on it. We're gonna do the tile work. We're gonna do the rip out. We're gonna do the demo, but we're gonna hire drywall. We're gonna hire electrical. Yeah. We're gonna hire plumbing. We're gonna hire out cabinetry making. We're gonna hire out the countertops. That's a lot of crap, man. And I like being in control. I don't like waiting for things. If I got a schedule, when a contractor tells me looks like 6 weeks, I will double that because I know shit happens in life.
Yeah,
people get sick, and then you hear about the problems. I grew up in the construction business. My dad, that's how I started out. When I started my business, I would work half the day with him, and I would start doing clients on my side and start building my business up organically. And I've done it for 25 years now. But we were just talking about that on the way home tonight, how my dad really helped me out, really helped me get started. And you would hear these employees of his that would show up drunk, not show up at all, talk about their girlfriend problems and all their bullshit life problems that no one wants to hear about. And I think the reason you're the youngest on the crew, Chris, and that's a testament to you, man. I think you're in an elite group of carpenters right now, and an elite group of people. I mean, face it, these people they have all the money in the world. They can spend it on whatever they want. If you're on that crew, that means you're the best of the best. They're not going to hire someone who doesn't know what doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And I think that's the problem. There's a lot of people out there who say they're carpenters or say they're in construction, and they're just winging it. And I've personally been involved with people like that, and I have to go back and redo it again.
Well, that's how the business gets a bad name. Is you always have fly-by-nighters or people who don't have pride in what they do, or they're just trying to make a quick buck and move on.
Take a deposit and say we'll be out in 2 weeks and show up.
Yeah, I mean, you always that's the nasty side to our business. Is people do need to be careful because like you said, you do tend to get. Because there's no like educational requirement necessarily to say to do what we do. You tend to get some of the roughnecks, you know what I mean? That's all they, thought they could do or wanted to do or whatever. But, but yeah, I mean, we can't get, so I took carpentry in school, and, I still, even today, the carpentry programs are dwindling because the millennials just have no desire to do this. Like, it's a dying trade in a sense. And, we're willing to train people. We can't even get anybody to commit to train. They just don't want to do it. So,
well,
it's really difficult for us to pass the reins on. And then, you also don't want to invest that, time into somebody that
ends up being your competitor.
Well, that's always, that will never change. You always are training your next competitor.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to invest a bunch of time into somebody who ultimately isn't going to do it.
Right.
It's just kind of a passing through thing. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of front end energy you have to put into it.
Well, and you lose a ton of money. training people.
Oh, absolutely. Your production goes to shit.
Yeah. Well, it takes time away from what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is where the loss comes from. I mean, even though you're not, like our starting wage is like $20 an hour or something, so,
Sure.
which is great for them. But, so not only are you losing that investment, but it's taking time away from what you do efficiently. So,
right.
You're losing 4 times that.
Yeah, it disrupts your flow of the day, and it's definitely.
Yeah.
I've had to do that myself. I've had to train people working for my dad, and I'd be in charge of it, and it would be double the work because I would either have to go back and do it again. And my dad did all kinds of stuff. We did aluminum enclosures, screening. We did room
That's
additions.
That's gonna be big down in Florida.
Oh yeah, it's big. That's how my dad started his business, and now he does room additions. He built houses. I mean, he's done everything. He built the house. I was 13, 14 years old, hammering in pine wood plank floors before I went to bed for school the next day. We were in like a 50-foot single wide behind the house we were building for us. It was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears here. You say on your Twitter bio that you're certified in mental health training.
I am.
Tell us a little bit about that. How'd you get into that, by the way?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've always suffered from anxiety and that sort of thing. But my generation was, you didn't talk about that kind of stuff. You didn't, or if you did, it was just, work through it. You'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it, whatever, move on. So it was kind of shunned upon. It was kind of tough for me growing up. And I come from a pretty, like, you wouldn't know it, but, I come from a checkered past. Went through a lot of tragedy at a very young age that I never really dealt with completely. But I was lucky enough to make some right choices going down the road, turn things around. But then my first marriage produced my son, Christopher. And then unfortunately, we got divorced when he was younger. But then now I've been since remarried with my current wife, Sarah. But he was probably about, I would say, probably 8th grade. We kind of established that there was something wrong. And he was kind of having a tough time. And it turned out he was suffering from anxiety, depression, OCD. So he ended up going through some stuff and eventually ended up in the hospital. So I kind of made it my mission to work very closely with his professionals, and then which led me to working with my own. And then I took it upon myself to start taking training courses. I would attend all his group meetings and that sort of thing. I wanted him to know that I didn't want him to go through life the way I did and kind of on my own. I wanted him to know that he had people around him. So
yeah,
and he's a great kid. So as much as he may say I help him, he's probably helped me more, I would say, to this day. So Destiny led me to, I met Joe, Average Joe, and Sentinel Dad, and Hatchie Dave, all the guys from back then. It was Satan 14 Project, which is now Guardians MH. I think through Twitter. And so I ended up working with them through the Discord, and was lucky enough to become part of that team, and working with Dr. Goku, who's the psychologist over there. Great guy. Made a lot of friends, but the whole staff, the team over there is fantastic. And I still talk with Bailey. She's one of the social workers. So with all that, inspired me. I started taking training courses, and in order to help the community, to continue to help my son, who really is the driving force behind everything I do.
Nice.
So it's because it's important for me, for him to have a good life, because I lost my mother when I was very young, and I never really quite got over that until much later on in life, and I still deal with it. But
Yeah.
So, but it's some of my fondest memories have come from that. So dealing with the mental health aspect and working with Guardians MH and being able to pay back a little bit, I mean, if you can help one person, it still humbles me every time, I'll get a private message and, somebody, saying thank you and all this, for all the stuff I did and what I, how I helped them with that. And to me, I don't realize I'm doing it. I'm doing what I feel in my heart. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I told myself I wasn't going to cry, and I did it. So I'm proud of that part.
I hear you, man. Losing a parent. Wow. It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 18 when my mother passed away, and my stepfather threw me out of the house a week later.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
So I was on my own and very young.
Yeah.
But you picked yourself up, man. Now look what you're doing.
Yeah. Look where you are now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer in that. I mean, I think everything you go through builds you to the character you are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and you only get put upon what you can take, and good or bad, I think it all helps build your character. And
sure. Yeah.
And that's something that you can just tell just in like talking to you and just interacting with you, even in the Discord, you can't hear your voice or anything like that, but you can just tell that you're just, pure class, and that you, that you're an awesome man.
Yeah.
And also a shout out to Guardians Mental Health. I was actually on one of their streams one night. I was talking with you guys. And,
oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had, not to get personal here, but I have anxiety issues too. My mom has always had anxiety issues. So I kind of know where you're coming from a little bit there. Probably not as harsh as what you've gone through, but it was really enlightening to sit through one of those streams to hear other people having the same issues, And
that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Is knowing that you're not unique. I mean, there's so many other people out there suffering from the same thing.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
One person's experience can help turn everything around or help you make sense of it. Because go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that's why group meetings are so important. Group therapy is I really believe in group therapy. I think it's really great versus a one-on-one. I mean, one-on-one has its place, but hearing other people's stories, that's why I love movies so much, because you hear the other side of something, no matter what it is. And you come out of that movie going, wow, I got nothing to complain about. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well,
I mean,
yeah, that's what makes Discord such a unique tool.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Because it takes some of the social anxiety out of it, but you're allowed, it enables you to make connections with people. And I think we've all gotten pretty good. I mean, what's real and what's not. I mean, you're always going to,
Sure.
You don't know for sure, but
Absolutely.
In my experience, it's been really good.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I don't want to bring the show down, but I thought that was important to talk about. And I think Hazel has a burning question he needs to ask you.
Oh, boy.
I do. I have this rash.
No. I didn't mean it that way. Come on.
Aisle 4 at CVS. Lower right hand.
Is that where it is? Thank you. All right. But no. So was just going to ask, what's the best thing about living in Mass?
Living in Mass, huh? Definitely not the taxes. The food, I would say.
Absolutely.
Food and people.
We asked Maddie the same question, so we're comparing
It's
notes.
great. We have great seafood,
Yeah,
and good people. It's a very for the most part. I mean, it's changing a little bit, but blue collar. It's a lot of blue collar, just working folks. It's super expensive to live here, so it's a constant rat race. So everyone tends to be really busy, but for the most part, just hard work and a lot of Irish, Italian backgrounds.
Mm-hmm. I was telling Maddie last time we talked to him, is you got so many museums there, man. That town is that town is rich in history and culture. Really
a ton of culture. I mean, we have so many schools here. We're very lucky. We have some of the best hospitals in the world, and some of the best school systems in the country. And a lot of culture. Like Harvard Square is just a melting pot of everything.
Yeah, it is.
Because I mean, you have Harvard, you have MIT, you have Northeastern, you have Boston University. My son goes to Bunker Hill. I mean, they're all right there. So it's just a huge melting pot. UMass,
right.
Boston College, Boston University.
Right. We only could stay there a couple 3 days, and I did not want to leave. They had to drag me from that town. I love Boston. I mean,
it can be fun. Yeah, it can be fun.
I was just soaking it up, and we flew in there, and don't get me started about getting out of that airport. But we flew there, and we rented a car, and we stayed there a few days just to learn
God bless you.
Learn about Boston, and then we drove up the coast to visit my brother in Bar Harbor. But
Bar Harbor is beautiful, man.
Oh, it is, but nothing like Boston. Boston Bar Harbor's a vacation destination. Boston is a town, man.
Yeah, and I say if you can drive in Boston, you can drive anywhere.
Oh yeah, I did.
And that's really the truth.
I've driven in England on the wrong side of the road, so I think I can handle Boston. Just give me Google Maps and I'm okay. Google Maps.
Even that's not right most of the time.
I know it's always changing. I know it. I've been like, what the hell? It says I can turn here, now I can't.
Yeah, and the road won't even be there. So they tend to be really small, narrow roads because I mean the cities. It's one of the oldest cities in the country. I mean everything started here. Right. Between here and Virginia, pretty much. The whole kind of movement started here. So the city of Boston itself it's very, very old.
Yeah.
We do a lot of work in those old buildings and. I mean, the airport's built on the original dump. That was the dump.
Really?
Logan Airport. That's all trash under there. That was water. They kept filling it in.
That's crazy.
And when you're driving, most of the tunnels, you're either under a building or you're under the ocean when you're driving through the tunnels.
Wow. Hey man, thanks for sharing your life.
Thank you.
We got a lot more to do in the show tonight, so I didn't want to keep you too long. I know we're starting an hour later than usual, and just thank you for sharing your life with us, man.
Really you're appreciate welcome.
That. And,
I'm always an open book. If anybody ever has questions or wants to talk or anything, always hit me up on Discord.
Hey, and shout out to Matty. He had his grading this last week, and he got his black belt.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
good on you, man. I know it was a long time coming. Not to pull away from our discussion here, but I wanted to shout that out.
No, I'm super proud of him, man.
Start
Matty's a super great guy. I had the honor of hanging out with him in person at PAX, and I met, and I was able to present his son and daughter with a Guardians MH patch at PAX East, which was very cool. It was like the highlight of my PAX East last year.
Very cool.
And and the kids took off a little early, but Maddie stayed behind and hung out with me and my son Christopher pretty much the whole day. So that was cool. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he sounds like
massive, man. He's a big dude.
I'm hoping someday we all make it to Guardian Con or GSX or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
can meet up one day. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think Maddie's wife is originally from down near where I live.
Really?
So,
nice.
Yeah, like just a town over from where I live right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's down here once in a while, and he's a great guy. The way he is on Discord is just the way he is in real life.
Really?
He's he's genuine.
Good to know.
He's just a genuine person and nice.
His poor wife. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. She's got to be a saint. I haven't met her. She's got to be a fucking saint.
Oh, God. I'm not going to get into that. Oh, hey, let's move on. We got some important business coming up here.
Call the Praxic Order. Call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes. Call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls. It's that time of the show. This segment is called the Speed Run. We have a database of over 125 randomly asked questions, and Chris here is going to have 60 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions were answered by each guest each week, and they're randomly asked, so no one can kind of memorize the order or know what's coming up. So you'll have to answer quickly whatever comes to mind. At the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a nice prize. Tonight, I'm going to ask the questions as usual, randomly from our list. Hazel is the timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. And I just wanted to give a shout out here to our 2019 speedrun champ, Mr. Agent H. He did get a $50 gift certificate to Bungie store, and the 2 t-shirts he wanted were sold out, of course, like everything in Bungie stores. Almost everything in there is sold out all the time. I should have known when I was putting this together, but he decided, being the good-hearted person he is, that Bungie now has a special t-shirt. All the proceeds were going to the Australian fires and all the problems with the wildlife dying and all the spreading acreage it's getting destroyed. And he said, you know what? instead of getting my t-shirts, I want you to buy one for Lana, because Lana thought this was an important subject to talk about when she was on, and buy one for me. And of course I bought one because I told you I was going to support it as well. So nice. They've all been ordered, and as soon as they're shipped, they'll email me, and Lana and Agent H will get their t-shirts, and of course I will too. Really, I looked at it on the TWAB this week. It's really nice. So
it is really nice.
Yeah,
cool. It is.
All right. Well, you ready, Chris? You ready to do this, man?
I'm gonna fail, but yeah, go ahead.
You know what? There's no. It's not a win-loss. It's just fun. It's just
I could
fun
cheat like Jay, but I won't. So.
All right, let's don't get into that.
If you give us $5, we'll give you 5 extra seconds.
Absolutely. Right. You got to talk to Hazel.
What's that routing number?
All right. I'm going to start off with an easy one here. You ready, Hazel?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. How do you like your steak?
Medium.
Tesla truck, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Toilet paper roll, over or under?
Over.
Electric or acoustic guitar?
Acoustic.
Sims games, yes or no?
No.
UFC or WWE?
Neither.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Chocolate.
What is your favorite TV sitcom?
Ooh. You're killing me. Miss Mabel.
Gold or silver?
Gold.
Anna Bray or 801?
Anna Bray.
What is your favorite restaurant?
That is so unfair.
Just say one.
Burton's, I don't know.
Favorite superhero?
Batman.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Favorite gaming console?
PlayStation.
Time.
Sorry, man. I'm telling you, they're harder this year. They're really going to make you
No,
think.
those two, like the sitcom and those are so unfair. That is not like, there's so many choices on those.
Oh, man. Well, they seemed easy at the time when I thought of them. I don't know. Some of those I thought of. Some of them were sent in from.
Well, because that really, those two define like what really define like who you are in a sense. So
Sure,
you really
sure.
have to. Now somebody thinks that Miss Maisel is not my favorite sitcom, but
all right.
I don't.
It's all
I
right.
just happen to watch an episode, so that's why you got that answer.
Hey,
It's
I'm
bullshit.
I'm on episode 3 as we speak. So
I
hey.
love that show.
It is a funny show. It is a great show. You know what, Chris? It's all just fun and games, man. It's just all to have fun with our guests. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
People like Admiral.
All I
Nitz,
care is I got more than 18. Did I get more than 18?
Well, Hazel, what do we got?
I feel terrible. No, you didn't make it to 18.
Damn it.
You just want to go with that?
Yeah, I know. I want to know.
You want to know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe if if we have Maddie on again, you two can go against each other.
Head to head.
Yeah. 14.
That's respectable.
Damn it, kid. Dad.
My my son got 10 last week, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Lana is the champ still with
Yeah.
17. But I will admit she got some easy ones, and it's all luck of the draw, dude. It really
Yeah.
is. It really
I was
is.
thinking about it the other day and actually on the ferry, and all right, so I'm just saying the answer. I'm not going to let it catch me. I'm just going to keep moving, and it doesn't matter, right?
I know.
And the damn sitcom in the restaurant.
See, that's easy for me to answer, but it'd be Everyone Loves Raymond. And my favorite restaurant is, yeah, you're right, it is tough.
It is.
Yeah, it is tough.
I would have just said Taco Bell.
I know, I was screaming Taco Bell. I was wanting to just
Right.
put that in your mouth, because that way you just put out something. But, hey,
Well, we're going to be talking about that later, aren't we?
I think so.
I think we might be.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
be. So, hey, well done, man. It's like I said, it's my favorite part of the show. All week long, I think about how all my guests are going to do and what crazy questions are going to pop up. So, thanks for doing it.
It's a lot of fun.
It is.
enjoyed it, and thank you for
Yeah, it's all fun, man. It's all fun. It's cool. Hey, just as I mentioned earlier, we do keep our channel labeled Speedrun Question Ideas in our Discord permanently. So, if you're out and about and you think of a good speedrun question or something like that, add them there. We'll look at those going into 2021, and if we like it, we'll add it. And we added everything almost that everyone put in last year.
Sorry, Dagbot.
All right, good job. Well, hey, let's move on. All right, let's talk about what we've been watching this week, Chris. Since you're our guest, let's start with you, man.
So actually tonight we just started I'm going to say this wrong. HBO series Dark Materials.
Oh, yeah.
His Dark Materials, yeah. I watched it. It's very good.
We just watched the first episode. Me and my son try to pick one show that we promised to watch together, which is harder because when I'm away at work and that sort of thing, but it kind of gives us something to come together and do. So prior to that, the reason why we started that tonight was because we had just finished finally The Watchmen.
Ooh,
neat.
nice.
What'd you think of it?
What a gritty series, huh?
It's nice. That ending kind of gets you, doesn't it?
Right. I thought it was really fantastic. And then out on the island, one of the laborers on the job is set up in the cottage behind my house, and he brought his Xbox. So we got a man cave going back there. It's pretty legit. So we've been watching, we started doing, we work till like 7:00 at night, and then we try to do one episode when we can. And so we're in the middle of The Witcher.
Oh, nice.
on Netflix. So that's what I'm watching over there, which I've been really enjoying that. Also, I never played the game, but series has been fantastic. So that's about it.
Cool.
Nice.
What about you, Hazel?
So, I still haven't really dove into The Witcher yet. My wife, I'm waiting on my wife. We set up a nice little system where we were going to watch one show on this day, one show on this day, that kind of thing. That whole thing has gone to shit for the past couple weeks. So,
Wait, it always does.
yeah. We were trying to do that whole thing. We had an agenda and everything. We mapped it out on a fucking calendar. We had it down.
You guys were hardcore.
And then we tried. My daughter has been afraid of the dark for like the past 2 weeks. So she wants people to sleep in bed with her, and it's just fuck.
It's tough.
Yeah, but you know what? There's going to be a day that's not going to happen, and you're going to miss that so much.
Yep.
Yeah,
Chris, our kids are only 3 years apart.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
See, I'm on the tail end.
Mm-hmm.
He's 19. He don't even like me anymore. So no.
Well,
no,
I had my son on last
say.
week, so you guys should know how he feels about me. So
He's a very loving kid, but he's at that age, that he's 19. So, he'll give me a hug, but it's like,
yeah. It's more of a pat on the back kind of thing, and on your way back.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but cherish those moments.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's what I tell people, because there was a person I was talking to at work, and they're just like they came in, they're like, I'm so tired, and they were like, I've got a 4-month-old, and I was just like, I was like, believe it or not, I was like, you have it easy right now. So but you know how it is. So, so I've been watching some stuff sporadically. I started The Outsider from HBO.
I haven't started that yet, but it looks so good. Jason Bateman can play anything, right?
Yeah. He can.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched Ozark?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I watched all of Ozark.
Him in that is phenomenal.
He's just crazy in that, man. So cool and collected, and knows he could die any minute.
Right? Oh, I love that show.
It's a great show. I think a new season comes out soon, doesn't it? Or has it already come out?
Yeah, a new
March.
season.
March it comes out.
Oh,
my wife texted me that the other day.
Oh yeah, that's a great series.
Yeah, so I highly recommend The Outsider. It is fun. It's really sad and depressing too, but it is fun to watch. Just to, because it's what they're trying to do is they're playing with basically it's a cop show, and it's so is shit really like supernatural, or is it something else?
Yeah, is it what it seems? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Perspectives.
100%, yeah. So I started that. That's only 2 episodes in, and then I finished Reprisal, which was very fun. Basically, it's this sister who gets drugged through a field and left for dead by her brother.
So it's a heartwarming love story then.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like his attitude, man.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't die. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Well, she doesn't die. Spoiler alert. And she ends up wanting revenge.
Well, now I can't watch it. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's the first 5 seconds of the show. So
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And then Netflix. I started Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you on the first season?
Yeah, I'm still in the first season.
Oh man,
dude.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this show.
It's a funny show, isn't it? It's a great show. Not funny. It's funny.
I didn't expect it to be so good.
Right.
But I grew up watching the original.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't. I
watched the original. I did dig it. That's why I didn't think I was gonna. I'm like, they're gonna ruin this. They're gonna just. It's going to be stupid.
And the original one was
Love it.
very, very wacky. It was kind of kind of B-real, you know. It was.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't taken seriously. I mean, but this
Plan
one
9 from outer space. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one was. It really.
Yeah, this
was
is next level type stuff.
Well, it's high production, man. That's one of Netflix's big flagship shows.
But it's it's great. Like the story's great.
Yeah.
I love the
ending to the season
robot.
2 is I understand it, but I don't.
I haven't watched season 2 yet.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending was. I was a little confused, but not confused, but confused they went that direction. But I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry.
I wake up in the morning confused, so
Me too. I can't even remember words. What do you think I have Hazel around? He's got his little sheet of words and names. He's got his Google open so he can feed a little bug in my ear what I can't freaking pronounce.
Texting you information.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm doing it phonetically too. So.
And I edit all the Hazel. What am I supposed to say here? Make me look good.
Well, I'm glad you're watching Lost in Space because your first other picks were pretty dark and gritty there. I was getting a little concerned.
That's just him, man. He likes that stuff.
Yeah, that was the thing is like I started, The Outsider, and I was like, well, how dark can it be? And I'm like, oh, well, fuck, yeah.
You're right?
No, don't get me wrong. Wow. It's in my queue. I'm ready for it.
I'm like, yeah, they shoved a bar up yeah. Like, wow, that's
well, that goes there, huh?
I was like, that doesn't belong there. So,
if I had a nickel for every
yeah, fun at parties maybe, but all right, Gator.
Okay, yeah, I've got 3 movies I want to give my 2 cents on this week. 2 are from the theater and one's from Netflix. The first movie I watched last weekend was with my wife and my parents, 1917.
Oh,
I haven't seen that yet.
This was a great movie.
My son saw it.
Yeah, it was basically expands on a single story that was shared by a post-World War I veteran, and spoiler alert, it's the grandfather of the director, Sam Mendes. So it's a great humanity story. It really shows how badly we can destroy each other in war, and it was very stirring how much gumption the 2 soldiers had that had to deliver this message. And this was a real story, and it's been nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture this year. That's how good it was. So that kind of speaks volumes, right?
Awesome.
One thing my wife noticed as she was walking out of the movie, and I get sucked into the story. I'm not watching the technical parts of the movie. She goes, "Oh my God, did you see that?" I said, "What?" All the scenes were done in one long take. There was no editing. So when you watch it, I'm gonna watch it again. Obviously, hopefully it comes to Netflix or HBO or something. I'm gonna watch it again and look for those long takes because they do single. I don't know what kind of dolly this camera's on or if they're using a drone or what, but the shots are amazing, dude. The set pieces are really high quality. And it's very realistic. You really feel like you're in no man's land when you're between the 2 fronts. It's crazy, man. It's a very dire movie, but definitely a must see. I'll give it I'm going to give it an A-. I thought it was very good. So I don't give many movies A's, but that's one I'm going to give an A because story's good, set design's good, the cinematography's fantastic. I'd be very surprised if they don't get an Oscar for cinematography this year. Next movie I saw was on Netflix called Marriage Story. Have you guys seen this yet?
No.
Holy shit.
No, I haven't. It looks depressing as fuck to me.
It's depressing, yes, but it's very realistic and it is so well written. Okay, this is the way I'll explain it. Have you ever just said to yourself after watching a movie, that was an awesome movie? And that's exactly what I said when I watched this. I was gaming and I said, you know what? I got a couple hours before I go to bed. I'm not ready to go to bed yet. A Marriage Story was in my queue. It's 2 hour long, so what the hell? Let's if I don't like it, I can just flip it off and go to bed, right? I got so sucked into this movie. It's really, really good. Here's how I'll explain it. If you're divorced, it's a gut punch. If you're currently married, it's a cautionary tale. If you're single, it may prevent you from getting married. It is a realistic look. It is a realistic look. It is a super I mean, it's a super realistic look at the divorce process and how it destroys your regular routines in life. Divorce.
I've been through it, brother.
Yeah, you can talk about it. Yeah, and it's not only that, but who it affects. It affects everybody. And the thing that I learned about this movie is, once you get lawyers involved, you've gone past the line. That's when it really ramps up. So it got an Oscar nod for Best Picture. So enough said, right? Finally, I just got home tonight, in fact, from Disney Springs at the AMC there, and watched the movie Dolittle. This was Disney's latest rendition of Dr. Dolittle from the Golden Ages when we watched it, Chris. And, Disney has super visuals. That's what they're known for. Fantastic colors, fantastic clarity, fantastic sets, very imaginative movie. But to me, man, this really fell short. By the way,
it's the same thing I've been reading too.
By the way, to go back to The Marriage Story, I give that a solid A. That's how good a movie it was. Disney has great visuals. We all know that. But the story was... It's, you ever watch those movies where you think they just kind of put the story together as they went? That's how I kind of felt. And the movie was the story was so random and confusing that the takes, they would switch from this to that and this to that. And there was no flow to the movie. So overall, I'm giving this one like a C-, D+. I really was, I fell asleep through not half the movie, but a middle part of the movie. I woke up and I was like, oh crap, what did I miss? That's how unengaged I was in this movie. Now, there was a kid 3 or 4 seats up that was just loving it, and he was letting everybody know how much he loved it. Yeah, it's Disney World. You're going to get kids in the theater, and we're watching. What's so funny is we're watching previews, and I think they previewed all these Disney these Disney cartoon movies that, us as parents just roll our eyes and go. The kid goes, "Oh, I'm definitely seeing that." And everyone's like, we're like laughing our ass off. The kid was just awesome. I mean, he stole the show in the theater. But yeah, unless you got to bring the kids to it, and Disney's going to make their share of coin on this movie because kids are going to want to see it because it's Doolittle. I honestly think Robert Downey Jr., this was a money grab for him. His acting was even borderline. I mean, I hate to say that about that guy because I really admire his movies. He really puts a lot into his movies, but this seemed like a Pirates of the Caribbean light. It really did. So, yeah. And, of course, finally I did finish the season on Netflix, season 2 of Lost in Space, and we talked about that already, so I'm not going to dwell on it. So, yeah. Well, let's switch gears here and talk about what we've been playing this week. Chris, you've probably been working your ass off, but did you game any this week?
Nothing.
I can believe it, man. You've been.
I wish I had a better answer, but
no, that's fair, man. That's fair because you've been working your ass off. I mean,
yeah.
When you
tonight I logged on to Destiny when we were first talking. I just got kicked out of orbit because I can't multitask for crap. So, so I went to the tower. I saw that Saint 14 was there and a few other things. I'll have to figure all that stuff out, but
yeah, there's a lot going on. The drip feed continues, they little by little, every week it seems like there's something new coming out.
But let me what I can do is tell you what I have active,
okay,
that I should be playing. So in my Xbox Game Pass downloaded, I have Outer Worlds, Wolfenstein 2, which I was thoroughly enjoying.
Okay,
yeah, that beginning is an awful experience though.
Right? This whole game, I'm like, Jesus, they're really doing that, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's I mean, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but like the submarine scene, I'm like, oh boy, really? Yeah. That just happened. Metro Exodus, I finished finally. Gears 5 is open, so that's still in process. So let's minimize that and let's go to Steam, see what we got here. Borderlands 2 is pretty much done.
What is your gamer tag on Steam, by the way?
It's the same.
Chris, okay. Someone is like
code.
Someone's a Scranton strangler on there, and I'm like, who the hell is that? They're on my friends list. I have a feeling.
Say that again.
The Scranton Strangler. I think I know. I think it's.
I don't think I want to know who that is.
I have a feeling it's Mitchie. He likes to change his names a lot.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if he stabbed somebody to get it.
No, I just think he just likes it. You know, because he's Mitchie Stabs.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got that name. I guess we'll have to ask him one day when he's on our show. But yeah, Chris, I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were
No, that's all right.
What are you playing on Steam?
So Borderlands 2, which that one's pretty much done. I just got the new DLC left to do. The first one I finished, the Borderlands, the Game of Year Enhanced Edition. I haven't started the prequel yet.
It's fun.
And then I have Cuphead, which is infuriating. If you want to play a game and be absolutely infuriated,
I know. I saw the streamers. I saw the streamers cussing up a storm when they played it long ago.
It's a phenomenal game, but it is absolutely it. And it's, you know what it is? It's set up like an old school game.
I was just gonna say
the artwork is all the whole game is hand drawn. It's amazing. I mean, amazing artwork.
Well, let's think back when we played old games. We die. Okay, don't do that next time.
It's
okay. So we got to go over here the next time. Okay.
Yeah. The whole thing. It's timing and patterns, right?
It reminds me of Contra when I played Contra long ago.
Yeah. It's all just timing and patterns, but it's absolutely infuriating, but very cool.
I can imagine.
I like the soundtrack and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we got Destiny 2, Marble Combat, which I've only played a couple of times, and Psychonauts.
Cool. What about you, Hazel? What have you been playing, man?
So for me, the joys of the infamous PS4 Pro are in full effect. So I'm. It's funny. I've been playing a game.
So you're loading really fast.
No.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you get your SSD installed?
No, not yet. It's just collecting dust right now.
Dude, you got to do it. It takes like 5 minutes.
I haven't done mine either.
Oh, it's like playing on
another
PC.
thing that is infuriating.
Oh, don't kill yourself, man. You already bought it. Put it in this weekend.
Kill myself.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
No. I mean, don't kill yourself waiting for wait times for stuff.
I feel like that you're being peer pressured right now.
I don't do that.
Saying.
No,
not at all. You obviously haven't listened to the other 24 episodes. No.
Bully.
I did not peer pressure my son at all last episode.
No, not at all. He's just out of the family if he's not.
No soup for you.
Will? What will?
Yeah.
No. So I've been playing a game from 2015. Prototype 2, actually. That's been it's one of those brain games where you get to go around and just sort of like blindlessly murder people.
Yeah, I remember it actually.
Yeah.
I think I played the demo of it. Like when it first years ago when it first came out.
Yeah.
It had like a free demo.
Yeah. So I've been playing that. And then much to my wife's dismay, I've been actually like I downloaded some games for my daughter. So I downloaded a game that was free for a while called Bound. It's a game that was pretty artsy. It's an indie developer, and it's basically it's told from the mind of a woman who's pregnant and she's writing a story for her daughter. And the characters in it are like ballerinas basically, and they just kind of like dance and pirouette and jump through like things like this. And my daughter found it interesting for about 5 minutes, and then she's like, I want to see something new. So from that, we went to the game called Flower, where you're the wind basically, and you get to fly around and pick up flowers and bring them around and stuff like that. She found that boring as well. And then everything changed. So, Goat Simulator.
Oh my God.
She found this hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Well, how could you not?
It's
but
hilarious.
I'm not sure that's good parenting.
I don't care. It's funny as hell, man. That game is awesome.
Yeah,
But
she was just running around, like just ramming into people and trucks and cars. And
Did she get the jetpack yet?
Yeah, I did put that on her, and she basically spent time just rolling around laughing and everything else. So
It
yeah,
is absolutely hysterical.
yeah, even my wife found it hilarious. And then I also downloaded the demo for Just Dance 2020. So so my wife is
that's
probably
where it
gonna
went
do that.
downhill.
Yeah. I get to listen to Baby Shark. That's actually one of the songs on there. Yeah, and Old Town Road, because we need that in our life some more.
It could be worse. It could be the Barney song when my kids were growing up.
Dude, we banned Bonnie from my house.
I wanted to shoot that dinosaur in the head so many times.
We actually put that on the when we'd have birthday parties. We'd actually put that on the card. Please do not bring anything funny and related.
Oh my god!
That was like the worst.
Here. You know what? I'm gonna put this bug in Hazel's ear. I love you. You
I'm familiar.
love me.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Barney, sir.
Oh my god! Jesus.
Oh, that was the worst.
I'm sorry. Anything else, Hazel?
No, that's all I got, man.
Well,
What about you?
It's Destiny for me. I'm working on
No
this.
way.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe.
Shocker.
I've been working on that Savior
Breaking
title.
news.
Yeah. Savior title for my Exterminator account. It's because he doesn't have a title. My Gator account has titles, several of them, and I wanted to get a title for this account. And once I get my head into it, like my son said, I'm stubborn. I'll stick with it. I'm currently working on my Vanguard bounty honor bound. I got to get 920. I'm playing the 920 Nightfalls. I'm 750,000 of the 1 million points I need, and I still need about 400 solar weapon kills. So yeah, after this show, you know what I'll be doing. But it's nice because you can farm for a lot of the upgrade materials fall. So the enhancement spires, I guess they're called. Things after the cores, they have the legendary, I think they're enhancement cones or something, and then you have the golf balls.
The prism.
Yeah, the prisms.
Yeah.
And then you have the golf balls after that, which those drop on the higher up ones, which aren't matchmaking. So the 920 is a sweet spot because you're playing hard enough content where it's going to challenge you, but you're matchmaking, and everyone who gets in there is pretty much down to business. So it's really nice. Let's see. Next thing I got to work on is the Crucible Line Rifle bounty. That's going to be fun on PC. Yeah, going up against those M&K players. And then I guess the remainder stuff I have left to do would be the Legend Sundial and all those specific bosses that you have to do to complete those triumphs. So that's it for me. Well, hey, let's move on. We got still a little bit to talk about here right after this.
I think you have to pay extra for that.
Jesus. All right. This is our topic of the week we're talking about. Every week I kind of like to bring up a little topic we want to talk about, whether it's about Destiny or whatnot. And this week's topic I want to talk about is the drip feed content that Destiny's now putting out versus the past models from like year one, the past DLC models. So, the usual routine with the old DLC days. Let's go back to like Warmind. They drop a big dump of content. You would have extra strikes to run, and you'd have maybe a 5 mission storyline you had to run through, and then and maybe a lair or something we ran, and that was pretty much it. I mean, once you ran through that and got all that done, there wasn't much intentionality after that. And now the way you go back to today and how we play Destiny, you look at your season pass bar. You have intentionality as far as what you want to do to rank up to get the certain things they have on the bar, just like a lot of games do. And the bounty system. I mean, we complained we didn't have bounties, and I was one. I was the one that said, hey, I don't want bounties like Destiny 1 had. And man, Destiny heard us. They're like, okay, you want bounties? There you go. There's a bounty everywhere you go. There's a bounty. Even St. 14 has bounties. So let me pass it to you guys. What do you guys think about this? You think this is that kind of how the DLC days went back in the day for you guys?
Well, for me right now, it's super confusing because I'm behind. So, I'm basically the definition of a casual gamer right now. So, it's overwhelming to the point where I don't even know where to go, what to do, or whatever. So I just end up playing PvP or something, or I'm not working towards
Sure.
a goal because I don't really, I don't know what the whole situation is. So
time has been an issue for this season. So
Yeah.
I imagine it's
but,
and it's like a slow moving turtle. You know, you can catch up eventually, but you have to have a little momentum and get caught up.
right. Yeah, absolutely. So, but I mean, more content's more content. I mean, I think it's great.
Well, think back and when Warmind and Curse of Osiris came out, and then when we had those 3 major drops, right? They were like 4 months apart. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
How did you treat that? I mean, did you think that was better than what they do now, or what's your opinion on it?
I mean, I don't know. I've always been a story guy, so I enjoy doing long sections of story.
Mm-hmm.
But you always get stale. I think the way it was going before, it would get stale much quicker. So now they're releasing smaller bits of content more frequently. I think it definitely puts a little buzz into the community and gets people going. It seems like, on a more frequent, schedule.
Another thing too, Chris, is when you played those initial stories, they were gone. They weren't replayable, right?
Right. See, I'm a cutscene guy. I love.
Oh, I do too. I love story too.
I love cutscenes. I love story.
Yeah.
So.
What
But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and there was no replayability for it.
Once you blew through it, it was like, God, they put all that work in that content on that story. It seems like they've gotten smarter now on that. I mean, there's still cutscenes and if you try to get there's an exotic you get that takes literally like 30 minutes to get, but there's a lot of dialogue in the mission. I loved it. It was very hilarious. The Devil's Ruin. Exotics, what I'm talking about. What's your take on this, Hazel? What do you think about this, man?
Yeah, so what I've heard is, well, for me, I liked the big massive drop.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, sort of, like I said, I mean, like we kind of touched on this last week, because for it, you can, I mean, for me, it was great because I could go ahead and I could do other things. I could knock out the story all at once, and then I could focus on other stuff.
Right.
And I mean, I understand like the introduction of the season pass bar and things like that, and the swag that you can get from that. But for me, it was like what I would prefer to do would be have them drop the big content, like have it all just come out.
Okay.
And then you can knock it all out, and then you can start working on like the title.
Well, remember now, back then they didn't have titles. They didn't come out until Forsaken.
Well, I mean, even in Forsaken, though, I mean, you can still do that. My issue is just that with the drip feed content, I mean, I get it. You want to keep your fan base active and everything like that, but it's just, to me, it was just too much.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, but from a business aspect, look at Osiris, right? That was so bad. Such a bad release.
Yeah.
But that's an internal thing.
But then now that content is sitting stale.
Yeah.
For all that time until they can come up with the new content to drop something else. Where from a business aspect, if they're dropping a little bit at a time and they don't have a lot of time and stuff invested into it and it doesn't go well, they just change it up and drop something else,
Yeah.
That's the way I view it. It's more for them. It's a good business decision,
Oh, but look at that! Look at the Destiny numbers. I was looking today. As of today, we're at 937,000 people playing PvE. Pretty good numbers.
Are they playing PvE or are they doing the Corridors of Time, the puzzle?
I don't know. We'll talk about that in the TWAB, but I agree. It's hard, and some people just log on and float in space. It's a very random number, But compare it to last year. This time, after the holidays, it's usually a very big lull in content. It's usually when the numbers dip really bad because everyone's waiting for the next content because we burned through it. We burned through the campaign. We did the new strikes. Yeah, they're nice, but I don't like strikes. So you had a very, I think with the past DLC, and tell me if you agree with this, Hazel. In the past DLC drops, you either liked it or you didn't, and there was nothing else you could do. That was it. You had to run. Okay, let's use Warmind as our example here. You run through the campaign, you play the new strikes, and you had a new lair. And if you didn't have a group, you're shit out of luck. You just had to either you just shit out of luck. You just couldn't do it unless you had a group to play raid, the lairs. So, what do you think? I mean, versus today. I'm here's my take. Today, it seems like they are catering to me. I'm what I would call a hardcore casual. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't worry about min-maxing my gear and doing super high level what are they, nightmare hunts or nightmare the ordeals. I'll do what I have to do I'll log in, I'll grab a bunch of bounties. I'm getting really good at being consistent about running through the same areas and doing the same content. It is busy work, but your key is always to rank that bar up top. So you have that you're working on, and anything you do in the game, it seems like Bungie's giving you credit for it towards your XP bar. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, and that beats what we've had for the past 5 years.
Yeah,
where we didn't get anything.
Yeah, God, do you remember those droughts? Was it after Rise of Iron? What did we go? 7 months without anything? Not even communication.
Okay, I mean, yeah, but you know what though? I didn't mind that because I was still going back and I was still running old raids. I was still doing everything like that.
You mentioned that, yeah. It gave you time to Sherpa people.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to beat a dead horse here because I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but another podcast was talking about hardcores versus casuals in it, and it was coming from content creators and streamers, and I just was curious what, we're like everyday average players for Destiny, and I just was curious if you guys agreed with what they were saying and what your take was on it. And being that the numbers are really good, I think that's all Bungie cares about. What are the numbers? Mm-hmm. What are the stats?
Well, that's what I was saying. It's definitely from a business aspect, right? You're constantly feeding the machine, so it's a way to get people to, even though, like the whole it's free to play,
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It wasn't free to play.
It's really not.
You
know what I mean?
I mean, you can jump in. I mean, my son jumped in, and the problem we were talking to him last week, is there was no real structured direction to guide the free or the new light players. I mean, they bumped into Amanda Holiday and said, "Oh, look, here's a campaign to run." There was nothing to say, "Hey, go to Amanda Holiday and talk to her. She's got some stuff to talk to you about." There was nothing to guide them there. But,
well, yeah, and that's the other problem with doing this. So because everything's going to keep getting added on to the original release, the game is going to get to the size that nobody will ever get back to the beginning.
And I have friends of mine who I want to come back and play, but they're like, I've been out of it so long. It'd take me forever to catch up. But
well, I mean, with the new light and all that, you can get caught up power-wise, but
yeah, but weapon-wise,
you're gonna skip through the majority of the story.
Yeah,
in order to get to where it is, it's like it's getting to the point where it's almost too big. So unless you were already there,
here's my take.
Along.
Here's my take, Chris. I think new light players, I think they need to be ushered into at least the Cabal campaign at the beginning, where Gaul comes in. I think they should be directed right there, because my son knows nothing about any of the past. He just knows he jumps on and plays Gambit and PvP, and hey, you want to help me get this exotic or something. He doesn't know anything about the history, the lore, there's nothing really to drag him in or pull him down that lane that we all went through.
But if you make things mandatory, then it's not.
No.
It's no longer a, whatever you want to call it, an MMO or,
Yeah, but at least give him the option.
Play as you feel.
Yeah.
It should give you a recommended path. If you would like to play the story in order, start here, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or do a custom game, something to that aspect.
At least have it on their director where there's something flashing like, oh, what do I need to do with this? What is this? At least have them get a taste of the campaign, because I honestly thought the campaigns were really good. When Gaul came in and took over, and I mean, I ran that story. You know how many characters I made doing that story? I know that story inside and out, but I'm probably not your typical player. Like I mentioned last week, I mean, I kind of just drilled down on one game. It's hard for me to move to other games. But I don't know. I was just curious. Hazel, do you have any other comment on this?
You said something. I was making a note about it, about New Light and about the lore and stuff like this.
Right.
And for me, it seems to me that, that they need to, I don't want to be that guy about it, but you have to spoon feed the lore to new people.
And like you said last week, where is the lore? Unless you read the books, you really don't. I never knew any of that lore about about how Osiris, how Oryx came to be. I never knew all that. I just knew he was in a raid, and you knew kind of the story that he was taking over and taking people and et cetera, et cetera. But with the stories and the campaigns, you got an idea. But you have no idea how that started, how they were evolved from worms, Yeah,
exactly.
Well, yeah, and that aspect is a double-edged sword, because in a way it gives people like Mylan and Bife the opportunity then to take that information in, which maybe is playing a part in all of this, to feed that to the community and keep their channels going, because it's not as easily accessible, or you would have to start reading every weapon, every thing you get to kind of put all that together. Even. Yeah,
And I still learn new things from Mylan these days. He'll mention something, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know, and we talked about them making a movie.
It makes guys like him very important, Mylan.
Oh, I love what they do. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like I want my son to have that full experience when we played day one of Destiny 2. Where Gaul came in and we lost our light and we had to hobble into the village. It meant
something.
Yes, it had some weight. And now with this new light, it's like, I don't know. It's like Bungie said, "Hey, let's just throw it out there." And I'm sure I'm oversimplifying it, but I think they missed the boat there. I think they should have guided.
It just gets super confusing, and it's like the kid in the candy shop. You get all this stuff, and that's my problem. Like, what do I do? Where do I go? And I know what's going on, right? So
yeah.
My recommendation: anybody who's truly interested in the story and the lore would be to I don't know if either of you guys watched that. It's like a 4-hour video that Bife made, but the whole history of Destiny.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
That was awesome.
I started that and I was just floored. I'm like, because it was like everything Destiny.
It was long.
He did such a fantastic job. I had the pleasure of sitting down and having dinner with Bife, and he's like exactly the same in real life as he is on his videos. Yeah.
He put a lot of work in that. I mean, all the voiceovers and everything. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people came together and helped him with that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
like Monkus. He did the art for it all and everything.
Yeah. It was well put together. It was a very good production. Yeah, I agree. Well, let's talk about Crucible. I know it's needing some love now. I think we're at about 300,000 players now. That's pretty low for all the platforms it's on now. there's of course hints that Trials is going to be coming either later this season or next season. Do you think that's going to be enough to save Crucible? And should it cater to the hardcore players, or should it cater to everybody like Trials of the Nine did in the DLC days? What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean, Trials was always like a thing. To me, it was always something that I always wanted to reach, but I knew I never would. Well, I mean, it's the truth, you know.
I'm right there with you, you know.
You know, I never made it to Lighthouse in D1. So, yeah.
Well,
I love that there's a platform for people to play on. It's just the problem with PvP for me is whether it's something like just casual, or it's something like Trials. That's where you get all the toxicity. I mean, that's where it all comes from, and it stinks, you know.
Well, it's, Crucible needs an end game, and maybe Trials, I guess, needs to be that end game. I mean, I probably can't raid with some of the super raiders out there that can speed run raids, and I mean, I'm not that kind of player, and that's end game for PvE. And I know I probably, if I dedicated enough time to it, I could do that. I used to speed run raids back in the day, but just don't have the time now. Raids, that's a big commitment.
That's not really I don't really view speedrunning as in game for PvP.
Well,
or PvE, I mean.
That's for the ultimate hardcore players, but I'm talking about even doing a raid or doing a raid on 3 characters every week. That's unreachable for me now. I still have the time to do it. Even if I had a team that I could count on every week. When Forsaken dropped, I was overwhelmed with all the stuff there was to do. And I dropped out of that world. I dropped out of the world where we ran 3 characters every Tuesday morning.
I haven't even gotten through. I don't think I've finished Last Wish. I don't think I've finished the newest one either. I've gotten to like the 3rd or 4th stage.
But that's my point about this whole discussion. It seems like Destiny has maybe gotten the wrong numbers from all the hardcore players, and maybe because they're. I mean, I'm sorry, Dado, but when you tell me that a certain encounter's not hard enough, they should make it harder. Like when they did that with the encounter on Mars, he said it wasn't hard enough. You know how hard that was? It took me forever to play there, and then you had to get players together, and then you had to try to get 6 people all on the same planet playing the same time so you can communicate. It was
Escalation Protocol.
Escalation Protocol, and I still am pissed when Dado said that back in the day. I'm like, you don't speak for a lot of us, Dado. You're the hardcore guy. You're the numbers guy. You're the number cruncher. You're the guy that figures out all the little tricks and little things that Bungie throws out. And I'm not throwing shade on Dado. I'm really not, because I respect what he does. But Bungie needs to give that a certain amount of weight, and then I think they need to, on these summits that they have, I think there should be a percentage of casual players, because you notice now they're with the bounty system, with the strip content, with the season pass bar. It seems like they've finally figured it out. If they're going to stick around in the future, they're going to need to cater to the players like us. They're going to have to cater to people who just want to log on after working all day, grab some bounties and go run and do a sundial, or jump in and do five strikes before they go to bed or something.
Right. I mean, as far as the raids, I've always said there should be like some type of even a matchmaking easy version of each one, so that everyone, no matter what, can at least experience it. It may not be at the level that it was intended to be, or even just set up an easy mode, run it through so you can see it, experience it. Don't give them the rewards. If you want the rewards, you got to do it at whatever level is intended, or at but make it accessible for everyone.
That's a great idea, Chris. It's like bowling with the bumpers in the gutter. You can't really
exactly
that way.
There's
at least
so many people that never get to experience that because they can't get that many people together, or people get aggravated and don't want to take the time to, or you have to go to somebody and be like, oh, can you carry me through?
Yeah. And at least get them familiar with mechanics in a raid.
Yeah, and maybe not have that. Don't release that mode until after it's been out for a month or 2 months, so that you're not ruining it. For the people who are trying to figure it out. But when it gets to the point where it's like kind of older content, or to the point, at least, just make it accessible and achievable for everybody, to some scale.
What do you think, Mr. Raid Sherpa?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I miss it. I really do. I miss raiding, and I miss being that guy and everything. And for me, it's like I just don't have the time to do it, one, anymore. But two, I guess it's just the mechanics that they switched to, where basically there's nowhere to hide. Everybody participates.
Yeah. There's no carries.
There's nothing wrong with that, but everyone needs to be. They've made it so that everyone needs to be a very confident and skillful player.
What do you think about this?
In order to be achievable,
have a beginning raid, like a beginner level. Have it where you have respawns. You don't have to be revived. Just like if you go down in a strike, you have a revive. You have a respawn counter, and you have a revive counter. And then if nobody revives you, you just get back up and keep going and jump back in and do your job, And I don't know. I think that might... I know Bungie has stayed clear of matchmaking and raids because, face it, trolls, right?
Well, you can try to do guided, but it's broken. It don't work.
I think they had good intentions on guided games, but... How do I say this? I don't think...
There needs to be more of a reason for people to do it.
They didn't. We did a lot of when I had a raid group before Forsaken. We used to do a lot of guided games. We'd be short a person. We go, okay, let's guided game it. Let's try to make someone's night and get them through a raid. And generally, because they had to wait an hour in waiting for someone to pick them up, because that's how long it took. There was really no big reward for us to do it, other than an emblem that gave us a count on how many guided games we did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, make it a better reward system specifically for that.
If everybody got an exotic engram at the end that did a guided game, people would be head over heels to help someone through their first raid.
Yeah. Or what about its own loot pool?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at. Like its own bounties set up that would have specific weapons for that. Make it worthwhile to bring somebody through and,
and keep doing
it. I'll tell you what, I've met, by doing the guided Nightfalls, I've met a couple really good players that I've stayed in contact with and, are now on my friends list because we picked them up and, they were single players. I mean, like I said before, Destiny to me it's about community. It's not about the game, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it should, to me, it always should be, designed around bringing people together. That should be the biggest reward.
I would agree.
It's just sad that they spend so much time on a raid and less than 10% of the people play it. That seems like it's a waste of resources. So,
yeah. I And I get that they don't want an easy mode for people to just run through it and figure it out. But so that's why maybe they do it on a delayed counter. Or as the next one comes out, add the easy mode to the last one.
They could do a lot of different modifiers to make it easier, like quick, no more no more revive tokens. Believe that for the people who know the mechanic and are going through to speed run it or going to get certain drops. But, I think one thing...
Yeah, leave it for pinnacle weapons or something.
Yeah, fast revive system. Like if you were dying in a strike, you'd be back sooner or later to get back in and jump in. And a lot of this stuff is timed. I get that. Maybe they'd have to adjust the revive counter on timed ones like Spire or something that you have to be really in sync. But I don't know. I think that's a great idea, Chris. I think they should have some kind of beginner mode for to at least maybe even just a tutorial, maybe.
Well, do you remember in D1 how like you would raid? There was like the raid, and then they do a hard mode, and they always added a mechanic to it.
Right. And the weapons, there would be something different about the weapons too for hard raids.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that, but
okay.
I mean that's wishful thinking at this point. But what if they did that and they pared it down even more for that beginner mode? So they had like 3 modes where it's beginner mode, where there's like the base mechanics, and then like the normal mode or contest mode. Even they could still do like contest modifier.
They can go the other way, yeah.
And then it would be, hardcore mode where it's going to be all the mechanics that as they intended it and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they did, I think, for Taken King, is that they put in all the mechanics first.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, all right, so now we're going to pair, like, that's too much of a mechanic for normal mode. We'll leave that for hard mode. And I mean, they pared it down. So they build it as like basically like the Big Dick Daddy. And then they said, all right, let's pare this down.
Actually, didn't they add hard mode in? They added the content. So the original normal mode was like the original release back then. And then they added the mechanics for hard mode.
Yeah.
Well, no, they added the mechanics for the Taken King, like the hard mode version of it, but they started off like in development of it. They started off like with hard mode basically.
Right.
And then they like said like, okay, let's pare this down.
I see.
Yeah.
For normal mode.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, some of the artwork and just the rooms. I mean, everything about some of those raids is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And
for people to only see them through the view of another streamer or on a YouTube is a shame. They can't walk up and look at a wall and they can't experience that. Whatever that aspect that they want to see, it'd just be cool to let people do that. I mean, the content's there. Why not?
Being that Bungie has such good numbers right now, do you think that they should get more input from casual players, or do you think they should get more from streamers and leaders and community leaders like they have in the past, or should they do both?
I think it's a no-win situation for Bungie.
Really?
I think that whatever they do, they're going to do something wrong for somebody.
Yeah, because on the one hand, if you piss off the streamers and the hardcores too much, they stop streaming and they go play something else because there's, quote, running out of things to do. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, if you make things too hard, people aren't going to engage with it. So, okay, I kind of get that. I think they should split it in half. I think they should get input from casual players, or what I call daily casual players maybe, or hardcore casuals, and then for the streamers and content creators and the leaders that have all the views. I know why they I realize it's like a capture event a lot of times where they're just trying to get publicity, and hey, they're a business, they got to get those numbers, they got to get those views, right? But I think there should be a certain representative sample of actual players that log in every day and do certain things, and I think they should at least give that some kind of a factor in what they determine and what they create in the future. And as far as trials, I think they should have it set up where, like with Trials of the Nine, where you could get certain tiers, and I think that people who go flawless, I think should get the extra, like they did in Destiny 1, I think they should get an extra perk on their gun that makes it maybe easier to use in competitive Crucible. I think they've done really well on how they've designed the competitive now. I mean, me and you were a testament. Hazel, we've been playing competitive single queue, the solo queue.
Yep.
And that's a great addition. I think that's what's keeping the numbers alive right now, to be honest. People trying to get those glory numbers. But
yeah.
Well, that kind of brings up a good point with all the I've already given up on the fact I'm not going to have the pinnacle weapons. I don't have the time to invest into it anymore, where I used to be able to get them. But anyways, and like you said, the trials should have like their own perk. But I'm like kind of on the side of, well, if that weapon is earned there, it should only be used there, because then
That's fine.
when you take that weapon then into like regular Crucible,
Right.
This is what ruins PvP all the time. This new weapon gets earned somewhere else that other people can't obtain.
Right.
That just wipes everybody else out.
Yeah.
It makes the experience crappy for everybody else. They should be splitting PvP up, or saying,
Well, I'll add to that.
You can only use these pinnacle weapons here.
I'll add to well. Look at the Vigilance Wing. It has a perk where when you're the last person alive on the team, you get fast reload and more accuracy in your gun. I think that's what it's called. That's a perfect example of that kind of game type. You have that benefit in that, and that's an exotic. It's a kind of an extreme point, but yeah, okay, that's fine. So if you're running a hard raid, or a high skill raid, or a high skill, and you get to you do well in trials and you go flawless, make it where it's a perk that's in that game type.
Yeah,
that would fix it.
Yeah. It only you can use the gun anywhere, but maybe the perks only activate they're based upon.
They did this in Destiny 1, Chris.
Trials. Yeah.
They did this in Destiny 1 with the raid guns that would only be effective, would be stronger against Fallen, but only in the raid, only when playing a raid. It would activate it. They could do that. Right. It's not that hard to do.
The armor does. The armor did that for a while.
Yeah. The
only thing that I think would be the issue is that that's not what Bungie wants to do. Bungie doesn't want. They don't want to have separate weapons for PvP and separate weapons for PvE. They want everything to be, universal.
Well, that's the great thing about Destiny, man. You go and you get this new gun playing a strike, and it drops, and you're like I just got the DFA to drop. I've never gotten that hand cannon before. I'm like, well, let's go see how it works in Crucible. That's always the greatest thing about Destiny is you could immediately just grab it and go see how it works against another player. Yeah. That's Tony, that's secret sauce there, man. You can't touch that.
That's great, but I guess I'm more. But there are weapons that break the game.
But
right?
But to your point, it only activates when you're playing trials. That's the way it would work. Otherwise, it's a regular gun. Like the lower tier players get the regular guns, right? They get that fast firing pulse. It has all the it could be randomly rolled, but you don't get that fifth perk unless you go flawless. And of course, bring back the ornaments. Could let people know. I mean, I miss the days when I had Chatterwhite on when I finished the raid, and I was, we were all flaunting around at the tower, all glowing white.
Mm-hmm.
I had Midas.
Oh, that was a great shader, man.
I mean, I don't think it's any secret at this point that, Bungie allows these weapons to break the game in order to to celebrate the hardcore streamers and all that. I mean, those are like they do it on purpose.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's like their way of throwing them a bone, and then that gets all the buzz going.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Well, I for one think Bungie's heading in the right direction. I think this is the kind of content they need to release and have the special ornaments or gun perks for the people who really want to go that extra mile. And we already have titles for things like that anyway, for people who want to really grind out every ounce of triumph out of every area of the game. So, well, let's leave it at that. I mean, I think we've talked about this a couple shows now. I think we've I think the horse is a pulp now. But
can I just say one thing about Bungie, though?
Absolutely.
No matter what they ever develop or anything they do, I'll always stand behind them because as a company, I think they're amazing.
I think they do. Developer.
I think, because I believe they give back. I believe they truly care. I believe that they take care of their employees. So I don't believe Bungie puts the dollar in front of anything. I think they did for a little bit when they were tied to Activision,
right?
Because that was the hand that was being forced.
Yeah.
But them as a whole, I'll always support them. So,
any final words, Hazel?
No.
Okay.
No. I think I'm good.
I think they're a solid company. I'll always stand behind them no matter what. I'm in for the long haul with Destiny. I'm obviously a hardcore Destiny player. I mean, I've been playing since the beginning back in 2014. So I think what most of the younger kids, kids in my day, I think what they don't realize is developers used to never communicate with you. You got what you got and you liked it. If you didn't like it, fine. F off.
Well,
go play something else.
I mean, that's one of the few not few, but that's one of the benefits of social media and the way the world kind of works and how we get our content.
It's evolving and it's changing. But I'll tell you what, we played Bungie. We played with this company a long time. I've never seen them communicate and act so quickly as they do today.
Yeah. Do you know what I miss though?
What?
I miss. Now this is going to be jaded of me. I miss where games, like if they released and they were shitty, then you'd get a sequel that actually rocked.
Give me an example. I'm trying to follow here.
So, like, think about it. Like when you were growing up and you were playing games and stuff like that, like you'd get, like you wouldn't get patches, you wouldn't get DLCs, you wouldn't get anything like that. It was like you'd get Halo 1.
Oh, I got you.
And then you were like, wow, that was really cool. And you were like, I really hope they do a second one. So then you get Halo 2 and you're just like, holy hell, this is even better than the first one. I can't wait for Halo 3. And it was like a complete story. You would play through it and then, you would get a sequel. And then there were some games, I'm trying to think of some that like actually sucked. And then like the developer had to go like, we got to get our shit together and we got to do this.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I
like Andromeda.
Yeah. Well, that's a, yeah.
BioWare is in trouble.
Sorry.
I don't know what they're going to do. They poor BioWare. They've been sucked up by so many companies. They don't even know who they are anymore.
I truly believe they're a victim of EA.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. Yeah.
I still, I don't know. I think it's a good point, man. I agree. I mean, they would come out with better, like a sequel game in the past.
Yeah, but the downfall to that was you played that game and you essentially traded in or got rid of it to get the next one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah.
No different today. It's just instead you're still putting the same disc in. You're just getting basically a DLC drop.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, all right. Well, good discussion, guys. I appreciate it. Let's move on where we talk about this week at Bungie. Okay, Hazel.
Yeah, we're all professionals.
Yeah, we're all very professional. Absolutely. Well, Hazel, what do we got, man? What do we got at this week at Bungie?
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
All right. So, as we've mentioned before, the Corridors of Time puzzle is going on right now. I believe last I heard there were 19 different puzzles that have been solved.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm like, holy hell, I want to dive in just to like tinker around with this and experience this. So yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do after this.
Cool.
And then, and by the way, there are some guides out there, and there's a secret emblem, and I want to say like 6 pieces of lore that you can get as well.
I like it.
So, for you completionists, aka Lana, or anybody chasing Lana and her bounties,
yeah,
or
right,
her titles and everything.
Nobody even close.
No, not really. I'm sure Lana's already got that shit done anyway.
Probably.
So, moving on. Iron Banner's coming back next week.
Yay.
So, was that a question?
Was that sarcasm or?
I don't know. I don't know. I like what they're talking about after, talking about the Iron Banner. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just, they'll be auto-completing everyone through the portion of the quest that requires the rocket launcher defeats.
There it is.
Yay!
I hated that part was terrible. You'd have people just hogging. It was all about heavy, man. It just that was just a mistake. They corrected it.
Yep. And then after that, like Gator mentioned and Agent H so kindly mentioned as well, the Australia's brush fires. The shirt is out there now, and also the emblem too.
Yep.
So yeah, if you want to support our friends and brethren in Australia, go for that.
Yeah, and that just backs up what I was saying before about, why I would always support them and what I think they are as a company,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's just kind of heartwarming to be part of something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the patch notes 2702
finally came out.
Yep. So with it, basically they fixed a thing with Eververse where she kept showing up, grenade launcher scavenger, doing some stuff there. As I was looking over it, I mean, the main thing that I noticed was Rip Wishender.
Yeah.
Yep, it's dead. And then Breakneck got a buff. So, be expecting to see a lot of Breaknecks out there.
Well, we'll see.
Good, I actually have that weapon.
There you go, Chris. I like also that they reduced the screen shake on the hard light. I want to use that gun. I've used it a few times, but
Hard Light was my favorite back in D1.
That thing is all over the place, though, man. For having almost a perfect stability, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, maybe now it will.
We'll see.
Yep. And then they're also fixing some other stuff too regarding EDZ obelisks not being accessible. Banshee saying, "Hey, you're screwed. You can't take a bounty."
That was the weekly ones. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And that's pretty much it from this. Anything else you wanted to mention, Gator?
There was just a few small points, but the one thing I did see here is, how when the patch came out, the latest patch, not this one, but the latest one, before that, how you had like little slots in your fire team, little boxes that were clear.
Yeah.
They now have a shortcut now where you can just go right to that and select it, and it'll pull up the roster shortcut. It'll pull up the roster without having to scroll over up top, with your L1, L2, or whatever you're using. So now you can click on an empty roster spot in your when you're sitting in orbit, and it'll pop up your roster screen just like that. I like that. It's a nice nice little quality of life event there. I like. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
pretty
pretty
much
much it.
just minor things except for Wishender getting killed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
So
Good deal. Well, we've had some long conversations tonight. So let's move on. All right, boys and girls. It's time for the Discord and Twitter questions. This is where our community sends in questions to ask us or our guest. Usually trying to embarrass us, and we try to answer confidently with our head held high. And Hazel, I'm going to start with you. What do you got there, man?
all right, I'm going to start with our most recent one.
Okay.
So we can move on from this one because there's only one right answer. And if you say anything else, you will be shamed.
Oh, boy.
All right, for everyone, this is from Lana. Is it underwear, then socks, or socks, then underwear?
There is only one answer.
See?
Go ahead.
What if you don't wear any of them?
Uh-oh. Well, there is two answers then.
Then you're Florida man.
No, he's
You're
not
Gator.
here. He's not here tonight.
Underwear first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, underwear first. Yeah.
Always.
If not, then you're wearing it. Then it's a show. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. I'm gonna get one from good old Uncle Scumdeath here. Is water food? That's okay. What do you think, Chris?
No, but it is. Yeah, it's obviously essential, but no.
I think if you drank just water, I don't think you would survive very long. So I would have to say no.
I think it's what you can survive for like 7 days without food,
I thought it was 3 weeks, but
or maybe 3 weeks. Yeah.
Well, that leads to the next question. I'm sorry.
Ice. I think ice would count as food.
Ice? I guess it would trick your senses that you're eating something.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he says, is soup water or food? What do you think?
Is soup water or food?
Yeah, that's what he says.
It's food.
It's food because it has protein
It has
in it.
nutrients and
Yeah.
chunks of stuff in it, and
I think he was bored that day.
broth.
I think maybe he was smelling the flowers too long when he was out there that day.
My head is already hurting.
I know. My voice is going. My head's about pounding. Let's move on to the next one.
You say your moist is hurting?
No, my
here we
voice.
go.
My voice
Oh,
is shredded.
My bad.
Here we go. Burning wings. If there's a question from him, we're not answering it.
Go ahead, Hazel. What do you got, man?
All right. Well, speaking of burning wing, no. Let's go ahead and let's pick up on questions for Chris. So, this is from Agent H for Chris. Is it possible to visit Boston and catch the Bruins, Red Sox, and Celtics all in the span of a few days? Go Seas.
The Bruins.
The Red Sox, Celtics.
It would be possible, but the Bruins would have to make the playoffs in order to catch, like, opening day or something of the Red Sox. That's where the glitch would come in.
So otherwise, no.
Well, no, because it has happened, so it's feasible. But yeah,
that wasn't a knock on the Bruins.
It would actually be easier to see. I think the Patriots, Red Sox, and Bruins.
Oh, good point.
I think no, yeah, because you could do it at the end of the season. Maybe.
Good question.
But yeah, it is a good question. So it is possible, but the Bruins would have to make the playoffs. Final answer.
Okay. We got another one for Chris. Yeah, here it is. Moist wing. Question for Chris. Why is moist the best word in this sentence?
I do not recognize anything you just said. And
You could have said the mic's cutting out. I couldn't hear that. What was that?
yeah.
Well, there's your answer, moist wing.
I just hate the word. I do. Let's put it. I you know what? All of this is my own fault. I forget who the hell we were playing with, but it was like a random fire team that got together, and I made the mistake of saying that I didn't like a certain word, and then ever since then, it's become the bane of my existence. So, if I disappear from Discord forever, blame Burning Wing.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Noted. I know Admiral Nips hates that word too.
It's just gross.
Yeah.
There's no need for it.
It's a very picturesque word. That's for sure.
I don't know. I thought it's kind of sweaty.
Even just the way it comes off the tongue, everything about it, it shouldn't exist.
I hear you.
It's like who is a guy in Harry Potter, and they won't say his name. It should be the same way. Vanderbilt or whatever.
Oh, that must not be named. Nice.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that because Maddybot had the same question. He goes, for Chris, since we know your least favorite word, what's your most favorite word?
I don't know. Chris? No.
Shameless plug.
I don't know. Well, that I have a favorite word.
I
I never really thought about that. I guess it'd be... Oh, that's getting kind of sentimental and mushy.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess it'd be love, I guess.
That's a good one.
I'll allow it.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Manny.
Well, I think Maddie had another one here, didn't he, Hazel?
Yeah, you did. What's your favorite place in the city?
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm Italian, so it's going to be the North End.
North End. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
That's
had
where all the Italian restaurants are and stuff.
He had like a good 4 questions for him. Let's just roll with him here.
All right.
When will you finish working on Tom Brady's new house?
It is not Tom Brady's house.
I'm thinking.
I am not allowed to tell you whose house it is, but it's definitely not Tom Brady's house. So, sorry. I should be done on Block Island in somewhere around spring.
After the Patriots win. Oh, wait. Never mind.
Oh, that was a burn. I felt like that was a burn.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't mind this year because I was too busy to be into it. And...
Tired of watching the Super Bowl with the Patriots again.
It's gonna be over someday.
Yeah.
All right. Another question from Maddie. Best and worst Hollywood Boston accent.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one. Excellent question.
that is a great question.
I'm
hoping you have the same answer as me.
Has to be hands down Dennis Leary.
That's good.
Isn't his real, though?
It is real.
Oh,
Why,
okay.
Is it supposed to be fake?
It's still
I don't know.
Hollywood. It's still Hollywood.
I
Right?
was assuming it was fake, but I hope Dennis Leary was real.
Well, then there is no good fake Boston accent because everyone over exaggerates, and you can't really do a Boston accent without swearing. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, it's difficult to determine. They do a really good one in Ray Donovan. That's a pretty good one.
Oh yeah.
And that's fake.
His wife has a really good one in that game.
Yeah,
I thought that was good.
but
What's your worst?
anybody from Rhode Island. They are so confused down there. Well, it's like, and it's driving me nuts working there. So they're like half Boston accent, half New York mashed together, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's like watching a confused child trying to do long math. It's like, it's painful.
Maddie had one more question here. I guess this is for all of us. He goes, "What's your favorite loadout for any activity?" I guess he's assuming Destiny. That's
Auto
something for
rifle,
me.
auto rifle, auto rifle.
Really? Okay. What do
Spray
you,
and pay.
what's yours, Hazel? Your all around utility loadout.
For me, it's a blast furnace,
That's good.
the recluse still, and for shits and giggles, Leviathan's breath.
Well, for me, it's pretty simple. It's bygones, masterworked, of course. Telesto's the best though. I still use it, and I like the hammerhead. I like the machine gun. Works good. It knocks a lot of stuff out. So, Hazel, what else we got?
All right. If Google search launched today, what would be the first thing you searched?
Is this from Scumdeath?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good old Uncle Scumdeath. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna think about that. You guys, buy me some time.
So many possibilities. How to remove a word from the English language.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Final answer.
First thing I would search. I would search how many people live in the world. Something generic like that.
That would be a cool answer. Do you have a guess?
I have no clue. Okay, I'll guess. 10 billion.
10 billion, huh?
I'm probably low.
Yeah, I would probably go double that.
Really?
Oh, I'm gonna find out right now.
Hey Google. Hey Siri. What is the population of the world?
In 2018, the population of world was 7,655,000.
Wow.
I was closest. That's in 2018, so it's probably even closer to 10 billion now. That was just a lucky guess. That was a lucky guess.
Yeah.
What about you, Hazel? What would you search for, man?
Oh hell, my wife listens to this, so I.
So that means you got to remove the porn. Okay.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
Okay, rated G version.
Trying to find another hub. No. I would probably go with downloading music. There we go.
That's a good one. That's solid. Music is awesome, dude.
That did take me forever to come up with.
That's all right. I'll let all that part out. Maybe. I'll give you my routing numbers after the show. Okay, here's another one from Uncle Scumdeath. He's got some great questions here, man. I like to see how this guy's mind works during the day. What was the first game you played with a swear word in it?
I don't know. I would have to say it was one of the Resident Evils.
What about you, Hazel?
I saw this, and I absolutely remember this game. It was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Oh God, look it up. Yeah.
Hey Siri. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you, Siri. Go away.
Yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day. So anybody that remembers that will remember a big-breasted plant and fighting a giant shit, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
A giant shit? Like a turd?
Yeah, a turd.
A big boobed plant is fighting a turd.
No, you're trying to get with a big boob plant.
What? So the turd is trying to bang the big boob plant?
No. A turd is a boss.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And you're a squirrel, actually.
All right. This is getting into some strange stuff.
This is Hazel, man. Love it or leave it.
I continue. I don't want to. I want to get through. Keep going.
I don't think the word moist is mentioned for what it's
Oh, boy, here we go. There's no way it cannot be in this type of situation. There's just weird. Weird shit.
Watering the plant? I don't know.
And the big brown shark came swimming through the water.
Oh my god. It's simple for me. It was the first Call of Duty I played. It was called COD 4. In the campaign there, they swear like all get out, and I don't think there was a game before that.
Oh yeah, that could be true.
I'm trying to think there was a game before that. I don't know. I played a lot of generic games. Like my son said, I played Medieval. You're not going to hear any cuss words in that.
And definitely Battlefield too. I played
absolutely
huge in Battlefield.
But I played Call of Duty before Battlefield, so I would have to put that as my first one. Let's see. We got a little bit of time left here. I got one from Chubby Wizard. It was pretty interesting. This was a Destiny question. Question for the show. If and when we get to interact with Uldren in the game, if you had a choice, how would you treat him? Would you give him a second chance, or will you give him a beatdown? I think it would be great if we could decide this storyline for our choices. Thanks. Love the show. What do you think?
Okay. Well, the mental health aspect part of me would say you always give somebody a second chance. So, but the younger me would beat the ever-living snot out of him.
And he just used the word love.
No, I don't know.
Well, he's sulking in the EDZ right now. Apparently,
I guess it would depend on what he said to me at that moment. So more than likely, I would fall victim to feeling bad. and letting them go.
I'd feel bad for the first 60 seconds, and then I'd beat the shit out of him because he was always an asshole in Destiny 1. That's
He
my
was
answer.
an
Yeah,
asshole.
he was.
That's my answer.
Yep. No mercy.
Beat down.
But, I was probably an asshole once. Oh.
Just that one time, though. It's okay, though.
I'm probably an asshole right now.
All right,
We'll ask Burning Wing.
two more
Oh,
questions.
he definitely would think I'm an asshole.
Two more questions. Hazel, you pick one and I'll pick one. You go first.
Oh, boy. What life lesson do you wish you knew when you were younger?
Oh, this is an easy one for me. What's yours, Chris? I'm curious to see what yours is. This is from Uncle Scumdeath again, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know, because I learned a lot when I was younger.
You grew up fast, I bet.
Uh,
All right, I'll share mine, and maybe you guys can
Yeah.
think of it. Mine was to save money. I still tell my kids this to this day. When you're young, use time on your side, save money. You get a paycheck, 20% of it, put it in a bank and forget about it. Then, you know what? When you're 51 years old, you'll be like, holy crap, I don't have to work tomorrow if I don't want to. But I wish I could say that, but I can't because I didn't save money as a kid. And I really wish I did. So that would be mine.
I guess mine would be to always put more weight into thinking about the decisions that you make that could lead to regrets.
Think through your response, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
because it's the regrets that eat at you
Yeah.
and tear you down in life.
Yeah.
Don't they just?
So true, man. Hazel?
I would say you get more from the stuff that you put the effort into.
That's fair enough.
Good one.
It's not bad.
You know?
I'll allow it.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. Quality control.
All right, I'm gonna finish tonight here. This one's from Easy. It's if Destiny added the option to play third person via Division 2/Anthem, would you primarily play that style or would you play first person?
First person always.
Yeah, first person, sadly. I would love to toggle it up in that, but I just...
I mean, it would be cool to see more of your armor at times. Like, you spend so much time on fashion.
Mhm.
You always just see the kind of the front of you, but
Yeah.
I love that first person feel.
I'm a first person shooter guy, so that's my answer. If I wanted to play third person, I'd go play Division. That's just not my thing. I used to do third person, but I really like feeling like I'm right there. But hey, let's move on to our choices on Spotify. This is where we pick our 2 songs each for our Spotify playlist. Little sprinkling, like I said, of what each of us likes to listen to. Kind of gives a little personality to our playlist. And I'm going to start with you. Well, let me mention also that you can find this playlist on Spotify. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify, and I will put a follow link in the show notes as well. It'll be Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify, and you can just click it, and it'll go right there where you can follow it. So, Chris, let me start with you, man. You're our guest of honor. What songs did you pick tonight?
I picked was Simple Minds, right?
Oh yeah, you picked some great songs, man. I loved your picks. You're speaking my language, man.
It's my all-time favorite song, like, of all time. So, and that's because of the movie The Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
Of course.
Simple Minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah.
That movie is my school. That's a perfect representation of my, going through school. I was Johnny.
It's an iconic movie, man. It'll never go away.
Oh, dude, I could watch that movie every day and be completely satisfied.
Oh yeah, great flick.
So, had to put that one out there.
Yeah, good choice, man. Good choice.
And then, because I picked that, I figured I would stay in the 80s. And I went with NXS Suicide Blonde.
That's also
which starts off with the great harmonicas and all that.
Great group.
Can't
I'm
go wrong.
just pissed I didn't think of that group already. There's so much good music out there, man. We only get 2 picks a week, so you gotta decide what you're gonna roll with, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go next, Hazel. I wanted to go more of a Boston theme because of our guest tonight,
Thank
and
you.
I thought there's 2 songs here I'm thinking of that one of my first 2 picks is based on the state of Massachusetts. This is a band that was originally from Massachusetts, from the Shake It Up album, released in 1981. It's the Cars, and their song "I'm Not the One." Great song.
Mm-hmm.
And rest in peace, Rick Ocasek, who recently passed away. And man, another great artist gone, man. It's just sad that music is, I don't think he was creating any new music anyway, but I would have loved to seen him, on a live concert, a comeback tour or something. That would have been great. My second pick is a song I liked when my kids were growing up. It's from their 2005 album, probably not quite as well known. Their album is All the Stars and Boulevards. It's Augustana with their song Boston. Good song.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little song. Hazel, take us out, man. What do we got?
So, with the peer pressure that Gator, threw on there with thinking about Boston and everything like that,
Oh my God.
it was like, fuck, he set the bar pretty high. So I was like, okay, well, I gotta think about Boston. And when I think about Boston, I think about the Patriots. So I had to go with a couple songs that
Such a dick.
Maddie figured it out. All right. So
Chris, this is Hazel. Hazel, this is Chris.
oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah. It's only like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see if Maddie figured it out anyway. So New York State of Mind by Billy Joel.
It's just so wrong.
And then Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton.
He's
So for anyone that doesn't get the
that's
references,
the same as the Patriots winning because Vaberl's the head coach. So
you're correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
it's the other Patriots. It's like the Houston Texans, the other Patriots.
The other Patriots.
Wow.
So for anyone who doesn't know, those are 2 teams that basically put the Patriots out of either the
Oh boy.
Super Bowl or the playoffs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know though. We might have to revoke your man card for New York State of Mind. Billy Joel.
No, he's got Billy Joel's good, man. You can't. I'm sorry. I know he's from New York, but you gotta give him cred for that one.
I typed in New York and I was going through
New York.
Classic, man. I love it.
I thought I was welcome. Yeah,
You are.
Of course you are.
Maddie, I need backup. Call me.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think we done it. I think we finally got a show, and it's like you said, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm seeing double right now. I just want to remind everybody to check out redcross.org/au for our Aussie folks out there who's still dealing with the bushfires, and please visit Bungie.net to get that special tea for the Australian Relief Fund. I've ordered mine, so get on it. Definitely jump on that. I mean, you're getting a cool T-shirt too, and you can't beat it. So, well, hey. Chris, why don't you let everybody know where everyone can find you? What's your deets, man?
Mostly just on Twitter. It's Chris3711 _. That's about it. I stay off most of the other ones, and then anywhere on Discord, same. And if anybody ever needs anything or wants to talk or whatever, my DMs are always open. So
very nice to hear.
That's it.
What about you, Hazel?
Awesome. Hazel NT. Everywhere.
Gotta love that branding, man. Everywhere and anywhere.
There you go. I thank the guy that took hazelnut with a U. So,
yes, of course. Well, you can find me on the Twitter at Todd the Gator. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4. GATR, all caps, underscores in between. And Gator space GDC on Xbox. And if you have the time, visit my YouTube channel. I've got 93 subs right now I really thank everyone for rallying and helping me out. I need 7 more guys to get to 100. So I think I get some kind of direct link. It makes it easier to find me or something. I don't know. Anyway, I post these vids for my friends if they want to watch me play Crucible or a Strike or a Raid or whatever. There's a ton of videos that go all the way back to, like, I don't know, 2015 or something. I don't know. I got quite a few in there. I'll post a link in there if you're interested. If not, hey, no big deal. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Overcast. We're now on Overcast. I just saw that on the stats. And anywhere you get your podcasts. And I got some flack for some countries I forgot last week that listened to our show, and I just wanted to mention them here. Burkina Faso is the country in the African continent. Estonia listens to us. The Philippines listen to us. The Czech Republic listens to us. Switzerland listens to us. And, of course, India. So thank you. Wherever you're in the world, thank you. Isn't this awesome, Hazel? How we're also interconnected, man?
It is. It's just amazing to me. I can't believe that. I mean, like I said, Dadbod Link, was like, yeah, I feel like I know you. And I was just like, how the hell do you know me? And he's like, well, I listen to the podcast. I was like, oh, shit. Yeah. We have a listener.
Isn't that awesome?
Well, would you look at that?
So you're the one.
Yeah, you get around, man. Damn.
Well, that's awesome, man. I love technology. I really do. If you have any questions, you can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com. And we're on Twitter at guardian_D_cast for any show questions or whatever you want to talk to us about. We have a fantastic Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I will post a link in our show notes if you want to join. Please do. Some great people in there. Hey, thank you all around the world for listening. And later, Guardian.
Bye.
Outstanding. We try to strive for at least half a day of work, with our podcast. Half a day, and you can take a lunch break.
I can't listen to. I don't wear earphones at work.
You don't wear earbuds or anything?
Well, it's too dangerous. So, something's falling or something. I need to be able to hear people if they're yelling.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too dangerous. Yeah. But I do listen, like the drive down to Rhode Island. Sure. I listen, or on the ferry or stuff like that. But,
nice, man. Definitely. Nice. Well, hey, I know it's been a long time coming, but we really appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
I know you.
I never get out everything I want to say, and I always have a plan. And I never get it out. I never do.
Well, that's our week every week, right, Hazel?
Yeah, pretty much.
We're like, shit, I should have said that during when he talked about this. I should have said that. Damn it. Where was my mind? Where's my head at the moment,
Yeah. Yep. But I do. It means a lot for you guys to have me on here. So.
Oh, well, I know you made special arrangements to be on the night. I know it's been tough, so we thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It all worked out. A, I needed the break, but B, I was able to line up the doctor's appointment, and you guys helped me buy a new truck.
So. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome.
If I wasn't home early, I wouldn't have gone to get the floor mats, and then wouldn't have bought a whole truck to go with the floor mats.
Well, Chris, every now and then, Chris, you got to lift your head up from work and enjoy it, man. stop by my YouTube channel if you like. I post gameplay vids of Destiny. I do it for, just I don't do it for, reviews or do this or do that. The click on the let me decide again. It's so late. I could barely read right now.